Okay, now we can move on to like the Western perspective of dragons. You know what I'm saying? So if this is also something that everybody should be familiar of. If you ever watched Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or something like that, um, they got the little board game called Dungeons and Dragons. You know what I'm saying? Uh, in medieval times in European culture and Christian periods, you know what I mean? During crusades and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff a lot of this stuff was demonized, because, you know, during the crusades they basically, they used religion as a way to conquer people. You know what I'm saying? So, um dragons usually were depicted as evil creatures, you know what I'm saying, that were deemed to be slayed, you know what I'm saying? Um, I know in particular in these cultures, uh, dragons usually guard some form of treasure, you know what I'm saying, which symbolically represents knowledge, you know what I mean? Um, um, Particularly in like Christian culture, the reason why they like demonized dragons is because um before they did the crusades and all that stuff, um in pagan cultures, um they usually mess with dragons. Like dragons were had the same interpretation as in the East, you know what I'm saying? um but as Christianity and, like, more dejected forms of religion start to roll in, they started to demonize those things, which makes sense because, you know, those religions are all about restricting you from um, your power. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all any relationship with a dragon is um, hinting towards and putting you on game with, is to recognize your own innate power as a individual or as a god, you know what I'm saying, in his life. You know what I'm saying? So, and these religions, they demonize it because they want to replace it with, their own figure. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much why that is, you know what I'm saying? And that's why my cousin is afraid of dragons. It's just a subconscious thing. It's really nothing to be afraid of, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, and the pagan cultures is, pagan culture is obviously tied to like nature, you know what I'm saying, and working with the forces of nature. And that's what dragons guard. That's what dragons are connected to. Elements, all elements, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the force of nature is usually represented by chaos. I mentioned Tiamat, the dragon, and in Sumerian text, they talk about this battle between Tiamat and Marduk, and when Marduk slayed Tiamat, her body, like he split her in half, and that's how the heavens and the earth was created. You know what I'm saying? So like this is Earth's intrinsic connection to a dragon, because she was birthed from the remains of one. So, her ancestor pretty much is like a dragon. You know what I'm saying? So, if you don't like dragons, bro, you just might as well say you don't like being, like, you don't like Earth. You know what I mean? Like, you don't like nature. Like, you don't like natural stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's all dragons are tied to. It's not really something to be afraid of, to be honest. It's actually something that you should embrace, especially nowadays. Like I said, they guard treasure. You know what I mean? And you know, whoever finds the treasure, they if they find you, they deem you worthy enough to have the treasure, they bestow the treasure upon you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're deemed unworthy, you get ate. You get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? It's like a sink or swim type of thing. Yes, these treasures are representatory of spiritual truth and power. You know what I'm saying? The power to manifest your own reality. That's all tied to energy and your energy as an individual to create in this life. You know what I'm saying? Dragons is literally your spine, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's tied to Kundalini energy. You know what I mean? The rising energy within you. You know what I mean? To project your reality. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, bro. That's all it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you don't like dragons, you pretty much don't like me. You pretty much don't like being black, cause you know what I'm saying? That was a cicada. But what's them niggas called? The Moors. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The Moors. The Moorish Empire, you know what I mean? Them niggas, you know what I'm saying? They whole culture and everything was shrouded with dragons and all of that stuff. That's where all that medieval stuff come from. It's from them. You know what I'm saying? So of course, like here in America, you know, the way we represent dragons is very fantastic and phantasmal, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, we put them in video games and literature and movies and stuff like that. And you know, it's not really something that we acknowledge as something to be like real, you know what I'm saying? You know, like American culture, we just oblivious to all types of shit, you know what I'm saying? Because we just love this material world, man. That's all niggas know. Serving. Oh yeah, okay. So like, of course, not all of us in America like believe in that it's just phantasmal stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, people like me know the symbology behind it. So, you know, and we know how to practice like interacting with these things. So like, you know, if you commune with the dragon, you know what I mean, the benefits from it, like I said, is unlocking your hidden potential as an individual, having a form of spiritual protection that goes beyond what you see or experience here on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like the best bodyguard you can have in the esoteric realm. You feel me? So they serve as spiritual protectors and guides. So, you know what I mean? When you want to access certain parts of the universe, there may be a dragon waiting right there in front of you before you can get past that point. You know what I'm saying? They are the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they up in the esoteric realm, like, for real. You know what I'm saying? So like, put some respect on the dragon name, bro. For real. Stop hating on the dragon, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been paying attention to everything that I've been mentioning, the main things you need to understand about dragons is that they are tied to energy, water, and the elements. So, in essence, energy. You know what I'm saying? Because all the elements and water and all of that stuff that ain't nothing but energy and motion type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what is there to be afraid of, bro? It's helping you master the self and how you create in this life. Earth in particular, in a previous video I spoke about ley lines and Earth's planetary grid, you know what I mean? And then what was it feng shui? Yeah, in geomancy and feng shui, there's a thing called dragon lines, ley lines, you know what I'm saying, that run across the earth, you know what I mean? There's literally the energy currents of the earth, you know what I'm saying? Serves as the meridian points, just like I mentioned in the previous video. If y'all ain't watched that video, go watch the video right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna plug that in the description too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like on a deep personal level, if you find the courage, you know what I mean, to start communing with the dragon, you know what I'm saying, it just means that you're ready to master yourself. You're ready to step up and become a leader. You're ready to become a god, you know what I'm saying, where you have full awareness of how to create in this life. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, man. That's all it's symbolic for, bro. You know what I mean? There's nothing to be afraid of. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is what I want to talk about. So I spoke about the Likalea. So like when it comes to like mythical creatures, like anything, like I said, you want to commune with any deity, dragons, gods, mythical creatures, you know what I mean? These are high vibrational entities, so they exist on a higher plane of existence. You know what I'm saying? So like the only way you can interact with them right now in physicality is through artifacts, memorabilia, and iconography. So, you know, if you want to commune with a dragon, you build an altar surrounding things about a dragon. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You find artifacts, you know what I'm saying? Like Likalea. Or like in the Chinese culture, they make they usually make these dragon things out of jade, you know what I'm saying? So like you got things like jade, like certain elements that are connected to these things, you know what I'm saying? What else? I can't really think of nothing else right now. But you know, if you want to commune with a dragon, just build an altar. Build an altar, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think the things you would need are like I said, some artifacts, some type of things that have the energy of a dragon attached to it. Get you a statue to represent the dragon, and get you a weapon. You know what I'm saying? A small weapon like a knife, a dagger, or something like that. Because, you know, dragons, they like weapons. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but they like weapons, bro. It's some other stuff, bro. Oh yeah, you just put anything that's attached to a dragon, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you get a statue of a dragon. You know what I mean? Get you a statue of a dragon made out of jade. You know what I'm saying? Or Likalea. You know what I mean? If you find something like that, you know what I'm saying? I know in Thai culture, they have certain statues that's made with the Buddha surrounded by Naga, like protected by a Naga. Like, I'm gonna put some pictures, bro. Y'all gonna see that stuff. But like, you know what I'm saying? You could put a dragonfly on your altar. You know what I'm saying? You can put some dragon fruit on the altar. You know what I'm saying? Put dragon stuff on the altar. You know what I'm saying? It's not really that hard to do, bro. What else? You know what I mean? I guess I can just speak from my personal experience. Like I said, like, I've met a dragon in my dream. You know what I'm saying? I asked ChatGPT to like make a picture of it, cause like I never took the time out to like draw it, but like I remember it so vividly, bro. Like, it's the first time I ever seen a dragon like in vivid detail in person. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine how it feels to like meet a dragon, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually see one in the flesh, like in front of you. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say too much, bro, because like I want to say this for a video, but you know what I'm saying? It was a dope experience, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I also had an experience while I was on mushrooms. Like, one of the most powerful experiences I ever had was meeting a dragon, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, I got like a very strong relationship with mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people in America in particular, their perception of what these things are is like very what's the word? Irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? The way we judge how we, you know what I'm saying? Because like, these things ain't no drugs, bro. It's like medicine. It's literal medicine, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what else like helps you take and it helps you break addictions, and like you literally like throw up and clean your bowels when you own these things? Like, it's purging you of like toxins and stuff that, you know what I mean, that you need to release. Weight, you know what I'm saying? Dead weight, you know what I mean? Like I said, it purges you of addictions. Like, you know what I mean? Of course, like, it won't happen overnight, and that desire to actually like get past those addictions takes effort, you know what I'm saying? But like, it just makes it easier, bro, because it makes you more aware of like what you're doing to yourself, bro. It makes you more aware of the fact that like this stuff is not good for you. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time I was on shrooms and I smoked a cigarette, bro, and like I felt like a Sims player, like a Sims character. You know what I'm saying? When you do something and like you take health points off of your off the character, I literally felt that every time I like dragged a pull from the cigarette, bro. Like, I swear to God, like, ever since I had that experience, I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like, it just makes certain moments, bro, that you do in your life, it makes them so impactful that you just have to change your actions in that moment, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? And you would never know if you never took them. You know what I mean? This is why I encourage people to take these things, and this is why it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's a felony for this stuff, because it actually helps and heals people, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's extremely misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, propaganda, you know, the news, like, there's a lot of people that's still indoctrinated by things like this. So like, of course they gonna look at it like they gonna demonize it, basically. You know what I mean? Or they gonna make you look like you're a degenerate, and that's valid, because like, I've noticed, you know what I mean, with my relationship with mushrooms, like, the people that it attract are extremely dysfunctional motherfuckers, bro. You know what I mean? People who are on the verge of suicide or have drug addictions, like some people who are really fucking up in life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or they just have this desire to just escape. You know what I'm saying? They just have this desire to just escape, and like, you know, they might come across some goddamn psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? But like, You know what I mean? Just like the dragons, bro. You know what I mean? Like when you take these things, if you're worthy, you get blessed with, you know, sacred knowledge. But if you're deemed unworthy, you know what I'm saying, you get destroyed. So your mind is, you know what I'm saying, is, you know what I mean? Like you either get blessed or you destroy yourself because you're abusing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like if you abuse psychedelics, you gotta be the stupidest motherfucker ever, bro. No, I ain't like, I'm sorry, not sorry, but like abusing psychedelics is the most stupidest shit you could ever do, because like it's literally helping you purge yourself of doing these things, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Now some not all addictions are the same. Some addictions are so ingrained in your system that your body literally craves these things, and like it literally has a reaction once you are not doing that stuff anymore. So I can understand that, but like, you know what I'm saying, to abuse psychedelics is crazy. That's why like when you take them, like, you know, your tolerance shoot up. So if you was to take them one day, you're gonna have to take twice the amount that you did before for you to have any inkling of an experience right after. You know what I'm saying? That's why like it's a sacred moment, bro. You're not supposed to just take it weekly, daily. You're not supposed to do stuff like that, bro. You're supposed to wait over time, bro. You know what I mean? And when you feel called to do it, you do it. But you don't just do it just to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the more I took them, the more I started to understand that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And if you conscious and you aware of your actions and what you're doing, it's not hard to realize that. You know what I'm saying? Most people, they just lose their shit. You know what I'm saying? Most people, they do stupid stuff while they on them, and they ruin the reputation for these things, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I exist, because I'm supposed to create a space for people to build knowledge about these things in a practical way. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the things that I aspire to do, that I aspire to actually create a business around. You know what I'm saying? Because everything I want to do is to help people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Every single thing that I wish to do for a living is to help people. And I know the best way to help them is to help them resolve their traumas, bro. You know what I'm saying? Something psychological. You know what I'm saying? Like, or something that's improving their physical well-being and maintaining that in the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? And like the only way you're gonna really understand these things is by the things I'm teaching today with the dragons and stuff like that. Like understanding how the mechanics of this life work and how you can apply it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lot of this stuff is very simple, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? A lot of this stuff is very simple, but we just overcomplicate what it actually means. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say like everything is energy, because that's the simplest way to understand like everything that you seeing was actually what it actually represents is energy, just dancing around in the most astronomical ways. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for things to be complex, it was first simple. You know what I'm saying? For you to understand something complex, you must first simplify it. That's the only way you're gonna understand something that's complex, bro. Simple math. That's it for today, YouTube. So, hey, I love anybody who watching this video. If you're watching this video, you're the GOAT. You're on the path to greatness. You are legendary. You will be something to, like, in this life. Like, you will serve a grand purpose in this life. Especially if we come together and start, you know, building this community and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It can happen way faster if that happens. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage y'all to like and share the video. I'll see y'all later. Peace and love. We out.